Hello everybody, I hope you are enjoying your instalments of Go Big so far. My name is Mrs. Fox and I'm here to read you a little bit. So, chapter 9. I grew up in what seems like the 1800s, and back then a phone was something you had in your house and only one per household. Mobile phones were the sort of things that only really important people who did business had, and they were usually called car phones. They were basically like a brick from the side of your house in black plastic, and they weighed about the same too, with a breadstick for an aerial. It cost about £30 a minute to talk to anyone, and they were pretty useless. Nobody had one. They were like unicorns. People talked about them, but nobody actually thought they existed. And then all of a sudden, the internet arrived and mobile phones moved out of cars, and then people started texting, and then MySpace and Bebo, and eventually Facebook popped up. And then they evolved into mobile phone apps, and others came along. And here we are today, where you can, with a single click, tell someone exactly where you are, who you're with, what you're eating, what you think of it, and provide a picture to prove it. Because did you even have a Starbucks if you didn't get it on the internet and use the word cheeky to describe it? You might not have a mobile phone just yet, but at secondary school, the pressure to be online, splattered across social media, and chucking out daily selfies with eyebrows on point is likely going to grow and grow and grow. The world exists with this great parallel reality where you will interact with people at school over the internet and yet they won't even blink an eye with you in the corridor. That's fine sometimes, and people are allowed to enjoy finding out new things, meeting new people, and having chats with them. But it's really important to be safe. Whilst that's not exactly the world's most fashionable word, and you'll have sat through plenty of assemblies and lessons about online safety, it is so important. Homework responsibilities don't stop the day you get a phone and a Snapchat account. And just because you got 297 likes on a picture of you in front of a sunset on holiday that your dad had to take 76 times with the caption, living my best life, it doesn't mean you can now call yourself an influencer. Because with great power comes great responsibility. Unfortunately, homework and phones are not best friends. The benefits of helping the learning you've done at school sink into your brain by doing homework tasks are huge. But even if you're dreading doing it, are tired and it has to be done in the next 12 hours, don't try to do it with your phone in your hand. Every time it pings, you'll be over to it. Put your phone away and turn it off. Do whatever you need to and separate the two, homework and screen time. And what good comes from having phones in schools anyway? We've already talked about bullying, and phones can play a major part in it. It can take seconds to say something nasty on a phone, and it's certainly easier than saying it to someone's face. But it is never a good idea to bully people online. It leaves the person who's doing it in real trouble, and it also feels awful to be picked on and see it spread widely across all your friends and other people who aren't your friends too. You might be mad at someone, but there are better ways to talk about it than start a huge argument over social media. As you and the person you've had a go at get more and more hurt and upset, because this doesn't stop when school finishes. Everyone else in your year sits with popcorn watching it play out over the internet. It's not a good look and not good to have to deal with the day after. So, with great power comes great responsibility, said Spider-Man's uncle once upon a time. And let me tell you a secret that many teachers don't want you to know. Many of you lot are better at phones than many of your teachers. We'll always try and get ahead of the game, but by the time we've downloaded Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram, it's usually about the same point that your mum and dad have done the same. And it's a little bit, meh. So teachers are a bit behind on this stuff, usually, which means it's really, really, really important that when you are online independently, you make good decisions. Nobody can get in your skin and actually decide to press a certain button or click a certain link or take a particular picture apart from you. But there are a few golden rules to live by when you're setting sail in the great social media ocean. It can get a little bit rough, so it's really important that you protect yourself as much as you can. So here are some top tips for surviving online. Number 1, don't write anything that you wouldn't wear on a t-shirt on Saturday afternoon while you're shopping. I know it might feel like it, but having a conversation online is not like having a chinwag over a cup of tea at your nan's house. What you say to her will only go as far as her friend Brenda when they go to lunch club, and Brenda can't hear anymore and is far more interested in listening to the bingo anyway. You can talk to some people in your life with the confidence that those words will go no further. There'll be people in your life that will hurt you with words, but who will bounce back and love you regardless because you're you. You've said it to them and they know you said it because you're tired, angry, sad, poorly, just a bit awful for any other reason. Talking online doesn't have those benefits. Anything you say can be grabbed, photographed, downloaded, saved to camera roll and sent on to thousands of people. These people aren't your nan, they aren't your family and won't be interested in whether you're tired, angry, sad, poorly, just a bit awful for any other reason that you've sent it. The simple way to do things is to live by this rule. If you wouldn't write the message you're about to send to the person in your ear on a t-shirt and go into the local shopping centre wearing it, then don't send it. If you wouldn't want that selfie you're going to send someone to be printed on scatter cushions and spread across the sofa in your living room when everyone comes round on a Sunday afternoon, then don't send it. If you wouldn't say that comment on a link you're about to make to the same person if you were introduced to them tomorrow, don't write it. Look after yourself and think about what your actions say about you. Are you proud of that person who's the online you? If so, then brilliant. If not, maybe it's time to make a change. The second rule is talk. It's very, very easy to end up feeling like you can't get out of a problem when you're stuck in it. Let's get one thing straight though. If you've messed it up, it can usually be fixed. The internet is an adult's playground handed to young people, like jumping from preschool to graduation in one jump, and it can be a really terrifying place. You will make mistakes, you will click on the odd thing that you shouldn't, and you might end up seeing something you really wish you hadn't. While you can't always stop that, what you can do is open up and tell someone about it. Every single day I see amazing young people who want to deal with their own business, and that's great. But asking questions, seeing whether things are quite right, and letting people know if you're not happy is really important. And what's more, these people want to help. How good is that? Right now you have a fantastic force field of amazing humans around you who will fight your battles, support you with everything you do, and want to know when things are good or bad. You might get sent a message or be asked to send someone a picture or get a friend request from someone that just makes you think something's not quite right. Please tell someone. Without knowing, we can't help you, and by goodness we want to. Not to shout and bawl at you, tell you off or judge you, that's not important because we care about you and want you to be happy. Talk to friends too. What people share can make their life look amazing. But there might be something that they're hiding, scared or worried about. If they've been up till 4 AM posting stuff that worries you, you need to pass that on. It's likely that they're fine, but it's not a risk you should be willing to take. Talk to someone or report it on the website they were on. Look out for the people around you and don't assume that all those happy, smiling photos they posted days before aren't covering up how sad they might be feeling in real life. Finally, make sure you have a good chat with your parents or guardians about what you're up to. There are apps they can use to track your usage, location, and all sorts of wonderful things which you can work out between you. Or you might not want to let them to start with. Some of these things might come in really useful and help you out. Oh, and if you find any funny YouTube videos of hamsters playing pianos, pass them on too, yeah? Rule number 3, sleep. Have you ever been in a car that has run out of petrol and just bumps to a stop? Have you ever got in the shower and realised too late that it's freezing and there's no hot water? Have you ever got ready to play football with your pals before noticing nobody's brought a ball? Have you ever tried to bake a cake before realising you haven't got any flour? It's important ingredients. If important ingredients are missing, things don't work. The car stops without fuel. The shower is cold because there's no gas. The game can't start without a ball. The cake is pretty disgusting, as it's basically just a sugary eggy mess. You're the same. You don't work right without key ingredients, and one of the most important ones of those is sleep. Now I know it's really tempting to have one last game of FIFA or keep saying no, you hang up to your new love interest, but please put the phone down or you'll be a wreck tomorrow. Mobile phones, some TVs and computers give out a blue light, which can have a massively bad impact on how you sleep. It can stop your body producing something called melatonin, also known as the vampire hormone, as it only comes out at night, which helps you to sleep. It is definitely not going to make you attractive to bats and help you to inherit a large Romanian castle, but it will help you to sleep, to feel fantastic and to get yourself in the school zone. Put your phone somewhere it can't bother you at night. You need to be at your best the day after. So rather than drag yourself knackered through geography tomorrow, give yourself a time when it goes down and stays down, and not 3 a.m. Number 4, smell a rose. The world is brilliant. People are amazing. Friends are lovely. Cuddles are warm. Flowers smell stonking, but horses don't. Sunsets are beautiful. Rain smells incredible. All these things don't need to be shared online. Enjoy your life without being strung up like Pinocchio and led by a piece of technology in your hand. That sunset did happen, even if it's not on Instagram. Your friend did make you feel lovely by saying I like your jeans, without you needing to share a picture of them online. And you do feel just so amazing having run home in the rain from school without needing to map it on a running tracker and then sharing it with the entire world. Enjoy your life. Put the phone down and revel in the fact that you're alive and you are loved. And rule number 5, don't give in. Please don't assume that I think this stuff is really simple. I know it isn't. Loads of people are tempted to do the easiest thing possible to become popular when they start at school. The most difficult thing sometimes is to do the right thing. Mobile phones can do loads of good for you in school. They can let you see the inside of a classroom and connect with other people in your year group on the other side of the world. And they can give you any piece of information you could ever need for any piece of homework you could ever get within seconds. But they can also do a lot of bad. People record fights and spread them across social media. People do and say daft things to others online that they wouldn't in the real world to appear popular, forgetting that they have to do an experiment on osmosis with them in science the day after. You're a young person and you are allowed to make mistakes. They're part of growing up. In fact, mistakes on phones and online are part of a growing up too. But just remember, when something doesn't quite feel right, it usually isn't right. And if you use your spider sense tingles, remember, great power and great responsibility, then say no and don't dive in. Mobile phones, the internet and everything that revolves around them have such power to do good, but also such power to make people feel awful. So maybe give yourself a break from them and leave them at home once in a while. Just be kind, be sensible and talk. That's all anyone will ever ask you to do. Thank you.